The fourth dynasty is the greatest of all the dynasties when it comes to pyramid building. And we'll see that shortly with the Great Pyramid itself and the pyramids on Giza and the three pyramids attributed to Snefru. When you're looking at this pyramid from a distance, you think, oh, it's not very big. But then as you get closer and closer, you realize it's actually quite a big pyramid. This is some clips from Megalithomania. And I didn't get to go inside this pyramid. I just got to see it from the outside. But here's a few clips from Megalithomania showing you what it's like inside. Now we're still on the same pharaoh, Snefru, but let's have a look at the next pyramid. The bent pyramid is another pyramid also attributed to the pharaoh Snefru. And when I went to this pyramid, I was quite impressed with the fact that it still had all its casing stones, or at least the majority of them. The footage I'm showing you now is actually from the tour I was on in 2022. And the footage was taken by Ancient Connection, who was also on the tour at the same time. Here's a diagram. It's actually quite a long way down. Then you get to a flat area, and then you head upwards. So that's two massive pyramids so far attributed to Snefru. Now let's have a look at the third and final pyramid that's been attributed to Snefru. The third pyramid is the Red Pyramid. It was originally covered in limestone casing stones, which made it shine pretty much the same way as the Great Pyramid originally did. When I walked the full length around each of its four sides, I was stunned by the size. It really felt so similar to the Great Pyramid. By the way, the reason archaeologists believe that it was attributed to Djoser, as well as the other two pyramids, was because he had his seal on the inside of the casing stones. There was nothing inside the pyramid to indicate anything along those lines, though. Now we move on to Giza, and of course, we start with the Great Pyramid. The Great Pyramid speaks for itself, and it has a lot to say. From the incredible precision in the structure and its alignment, through to the many mysteries of its construction and its design. The more you learn about the Great Pyramid, the more it leaves you wanting to know more. The Great Pyramid of Giza was attributed to the pharaoh Khufu, also known as Cheops. Today it is one of the biggest tourist attractions in the world, but it was just as famous in the ancient times as one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. According to archaeologists, it was built around 2580 BC-ish during the Old Kingdom. Today it sits majestically on the Giza Plateau, surrounded by tombs and temples. This may be a bit of a surprise because the next pyramid is not on Giza. You might think you've got Khufu, then Khafre, then Menkaure, but no, in between Khufu and Khafre there is Djedre. Located at Abu Rawash, this pyramid doesn't look much like a pyramid. It looks more like a pile of rubble. But 4,000 years ago, it was a fully formed pyramid. But 2,000 years ago, it got dismantled by the Romans, who decided that the stone was very useful for other things. The pyramid is attributed to the pharaoh Djedre, who was a son of Khufu and took over as pharaoh after his father passed away. Today, all that is left of this structure is some rubble and a fairly deep shaft, which was the center of the pyramid. The next pyramid is still not at Giza, and it looks an awfully lot like the previous one that we've just discussed. But this is the Pyramid of Baka. This T-shaped shaft structure dug deep into the bedrock, is called the unfinished pyramid of Zawiat el-Aryan, and is attributed to a pharaoh, or maybe he's a prince, called Baka, apparently of the 4th dynasty. Once rediscovered, it originally had the rather ominous name of Pyramid 13. Archaeologist Alessandro Barsanti took an unhealthy interest in this structure, eventually dissecting it till it could not be reassembled. There's very little photographic evidence for this site, as it's currently inaccessible in a military zone, but it at least is in a movie called Land of the Pharaohs. Now we are back at Giza with the Pyramid of Khafre. See this good-looking guy here? Not the falcon, that's Horus. The pharaoh, this guy is called Khafre or Khafra. He is the pharaoh that the middle pyramid at Giza is attributed to. It's easy to spot his pyramid because it's the only one where there are still casing stones at the very top of the pyramid. There are 2 passageways into this pyramid. There's the one from the top, but the one from the bottom goes straight into the bedrock and continues along in bedrock, as is the main chamber. Once you get into the main chamber, the first thing that stands out is the statement, "I was here," by Belzioni, who was a famous archaeologist. Then there is the red granite box with a lid. So we're still at Giza, but this time we're at the Pyramid of Menkaure. Although the pyramid attributed to Menkaure is the smallest of the 3 large pyramids of Giza, it is nevertheless gigantic. Not only did it have the beautiful white Tura limestone on it, the lower part had polygonal granite. As for what's inside, there's a descending passage that goes down through and into the bedrock towards the burial chamber. The most striking feature of this pyramid is this enormous gash in the middle of I think it's the north side. So in about 1196, the Sultan, the son of Saladin, decided that it would be a really great idea to demolish and remove all the Giza pyramids, and decided to start with the Menkaure pyramid. But it proved far too large and dangerous a job. And thank goodness for that, because otherwise Giza would not look the way it does today. And that brings us to the end of the 4th dynasty, the greatest pyramid dynasty of them all. But there's still lots more pyramids to come.